on! You must make it work for us, come on! Let's do it now! Siakana, come on!
That's going in the video.
We must do it now, these are my tortillas! Come on! It's got to be now!
What is up, guys? Matt the Riff Master here, and I am at the Blackstar cabin at Bloodstock 2017 with Steve Marks.
Hey man, how's it going?
It's good, it's going good. Now we will say we did this yesterday, but we had some technical difficulties, so we're going for round 2. But hey, any chance to hang out with Blackstar is good. So let's start off, Steve.
Hey.
Your role at Blackstar. Let's talk about that. What is it you do for Blackstar?
Okay, so I've been with the company now for coming up to 5 years, which has just gone like that. It's been a thrilling ride so far, and my job title is product trainer. So there are 65 or thereabouts countries worldwide that distribute Blackstar, including the UK. So if I'm not travelling up and down the length and breadth of the UK, from Scotland down south, I'm travelling overseas, visiting guitar stores, talking directly to customers, as well as training sales guys in stores to sort of understand the story and the concept of Blackstar and spreading the Blackstar love around.
Which is always good.
Yeah, and you know, it is beneficial. You know, product knowledge is power, and at the end of the day, it is just amplifiers, and you can plug a guitar cable in and a guitar and get a good sound. It's hard to kind of not get It's hard to get a bad sound out of a Blackstar, to be fair.
I totally agree with that.
But things are made easy, but especially more so over the past 5 years with the digital products. There is a story behind it, and there's a reason we've built them a certain way, and that's my gig, yeah.
That sounds like a great job. So you travel a lot, talking about Blackstar. It's always good. I mean, sometimes, all the time, Blackstar can just really speak for themselves. You plug it in, it sounds good. But a lot of people want to know the ins and outs of it, so it's good that when you obviously trying to get that across to people and the people that are going to be selling it, it's good for people to know that knowledge, because there's a lot that goes on behind all of that.
There is, yeah. There's so much work and concept thought, even down to the aesthetics, the way it looks, and importantly the way it feels, the way it sounds. My bosses, the directors of Blackstar, they've all got very, very keen ears. And they just know tone, and you know, you can't please the world, but you can please a few guitar players that understand the concept for sure. Blackstar's in its 10th year this year, so it's a really important time for us. It's a wonderful anniversary, and we've got some really exciting products coming soon as well. But importantly, it's all about educating on what we've done in the first 10 years and what we've achieved, because in the early days we had things like Artisan, which were like hand-wired point-to-point sort of vintage styled combos, and also Series 1 as well, which was the flip side of the coin, very modern, multi-channel from clean to scream, MIDI switchable, all that stuff. Great for these types of events like Bloodstock. You know, on the main stage we've got two or three Series 1 stacks, and it sounds killer out there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were backstage the other day, and we saw the Blackstars, and I just thought, look. It's one of those things, you see them, and it for me, who plays Blackstar, I just get excited when I see them. And plugging into it, it's a different story. It's just like...
Yeah, I was at the front watching Soil work, and they were sounding killer, and they're Blackstar endorsees, and sounded awesome, man.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Blackstar, 10 years. You said there's some new stuff going out. Can you give any updates on that?
I can't give too much away, but recently at Summer NAMM in Nashville, we sort of showcased our new Venue Mark II range. The Venue range, if you don't know what that is, it's sort of the middle ground between high-end and digital, and it's the working musician's amplifier, basically. A lot of bang for your buck, multi-channels, built-in reverb, circuitry, and so on. And while I'm on that subject, everything that you see and hear from Blackstar is all designed in-house, down to the cabinet design, the speaker choice, even down to the DSP chips for our reverbs and stuff. Everything is designed in-house in the UK, in Northampton, and then we have 2 factories in the Far East that produce mass production, because at the end of the day, they make it really, really good.
Yep.
And in the UK, it'd be probably double that cost, you know. There might be a time when we make some stuff in the UK for a limited run, but the workforce is, you know, quite compact, shall we say, and we're very, very busy while we're that size, you know, and it's enough for us to do to design the gear. We might need a huge football pitch factory sized factory to make the gear as well, but that might come one day, I don't know. But certainly over the last 10 years we've gone from, like I said, the artisan hand wired Series 1 right down towards, you know, the fly amps, 3-watt mini amps and stuff, and everything in between. And there is some really exciting stuff coming that will be a little bit of a curveball that you won't expect. But Venue Mark II is refined, it's smaller, lighter, and it sounds killer.
Yeah, it's going to sound good. You just know it's going to sound good. And I will say they've hooked me up with a Blackstar Fly, which I'm excited about because I've wanted one for a long time. So we'll be having a lot of fun with that. So, Steve, the people that don't know how Blackstar started, should we tell them about that?
Yeah, sure.
How it started, who started it, and all that cool stuff.
Okay, so back in 2005, there were four guys that left a very well-known company down the road from Northampton in Milton Keynes, beginning with an M that I'm sure we know. And they decided to make a break and move on from there. They were collectively there for a long time and a very integral part of the team. But we mentioned it yesterday, but I like to give a little bit of a sort of a background on that. And if you imagine an amplifier company being a guitar-based rock band, and you know, there's lots of people throwing ideas out there and songs, shall we say, and lots of songs were being brought to the table, but there was some of the songs that just weren't allowed to be recorded and rehearsed, and that should make sense to you. That there were a lot of ideas there in place, but often they just wouldn't get made, and the guys made a very, very bold and brave decision to move on, and I think people like that punk rock attitude in the beginning, and it's still the same guys, man. So 4 of them left, and they spent 2 years building products in their sheds, should I say, and having a few pints every week and talking about the future and what they were going to do. They didn't have a name yet, they didn't have any of that sort of stuff. They just knew they wanted to build amps that sounded a particular way and worked in a particular way. And 2 years later, they were joined by another 2 people from said company up the road in Milton Keynes, and they started and launched Blackstar at Music Messe in Frankfurt 2007. And there was a lot of interest from the get-go, because what are these guys up to, what are they doing, what are they bringing? And at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding, and people loved the tone. I remember vividly one amplifier that was brought into my shop where I worked in Birmingham, and the first time I plugged into it, I was like, I pulled that face.
Yeah, we've spoke about that a lot on my channel, is the face, you know.
It was just like, this sounds killer, this is wicked, you know. So it was, it feels like yesterday. And then, lo and behold, I ended up working for the company and become an ambassador for the brand, and I love the brand, man. You cut me in half, and there's a black star in the middle of me, and I got the tattoos to show it, and I believe in the products, and I think they can get that any guitar player can get anything out of this. And proof of that is, for example, we're at Bloodstock 2017. There's some amazing metal and brutal bands out there that are really digging in and really getting high gain tones. But on the flip side of that coin, you have like bands in Nashville using Blackstar Series 1. And that should show you that there's many tones to get out from clean to scream.
I'd love to shake the hands of the people that started Blackstar. I really would.
Will, man. We'll get you down. We'll get you down to the office, and we'll give you a tour of the office and stuff.
It's like these people just like, for me, they gave me the tone that I was searching for so long, and like, it's there with every Blackstar product that I've used. There's always the tone that I want, even in like a little 1-watt combo. It's there, which I think is amazing.
The secret, one of the secrets is that there are reference tones that we love over the years, right? We love particular clean amps for their clean thing. We love particular amps that have a semi-driven clean crunch, maybe from like a boutique styled amp from America or UK. Then we have like a classic rock tone that we love when we listen to Lizzie and AC/DC and all that sort of stuff. And then there's a modern thing going on that everybody loves these days, a very tight mid, pushing kind of high gain thing. And the aim was always to give a multi-tool, you know, to guitar players. And the sound in your head, the ethos behind that and the slogan is that exactly that. It allows you to dial in your tone or thereabouts with any product, more or less. And it's made to be easy and sound great.
It's like I've done live streams on my YouTube, and I use my little HT1R, and people are like, "Oh my god, what are you playing?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Are you using the head behind you?" I was just like, "No." And I pull this little 1 watt up, and they're just like, "Wow." Like there's one guy the other day, he was like, "Right, I'm buying one," and I was just like, "Sorted." They do sound good. To be able to, like the tones that I've got from it, it's just as satisfying. It's satisfying when you plug into a big 100 watt.
Yeah.
And then getting that same satisfaction from a little 1 watt, it's unreal. It really is.
Yeah, and people forget that, you know, prior to the 1 watt combo coming out and the 1 watt head, there was nothing 1 watt out there that had a saturated high gain in a little valve combo. There was nothing, man. And people sometimes forget those innovations. Things like ISF. The Series 1 has 2 patents on it. I mean, there's not a lot of products out there that can say that. DPR, dynamic power reduction, can take this 200 watt down to 20 watts, anything in between. It reduces the voltage in the power amp tubes. That's pretty cool. ISF allows you to dial in and move the tone stack around. So if you shape your bass, your mids and your trebles, ISF allows you to scope out where you want them to sit in the tone stack. And when you do that, when you move them, the 3 of them react differently to how they would when they were there. So that's why it's called infinite shape feature, and we got awarded a patent on that, and as well as DPR. And it's not easy to get awarded a patent. You're not dealing with a board of guys that have tons of tattoos, and you know, they're sitting there and they're like, "That's cool, man. There's your stamp." You're dealing with people that need to see physical evidence of the technology that you've created that's beneficial to the user, and it's different than anything else out there. You know,
I mean, the tones and the ISF, from going from the American to the British, you can really hear the difference going all the way, even like from all the way to American and then in between then to the British. It just sounds different, and it's just, you get the sweet spot.
Yeah, lots of people use it in different ways. I'll give you a quick example. But if we choose like an OD1 sort of high gain setting, and I'll start with the ISF on the British side, which gives you more open, looser mids, and then I'll tighten it up by bringing it back to the US side, and you can feel it hopefully over the mic and the way you dig in especially. So
You can really hear that difference.
Yeah, and it just becomes sharper in the mix, and it's all about giving the guitar player that flexibility. And,
I mean, I don't know how that came across, you know, through the mic, but take our word, in here it sounds just phenomenal. It really does.
Check it out, man. It's last time I went into a store, because obviously I visit stores every day. The last time I went into a store and saw somebody trying through a Series 1 or a larger amp in general, I can't remember. And often people are scared to plug in because there's nowhere to hide. All the guitar players in store you would assume would be like shredders and great players. It's not about that. If anyone judges you from your playing, if you're not as good as they are, they're not musicians, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Musicians love one another and admire each other and learn from each other, you know. And you can turn these down to a suitable level that we can talk over the level. They don't
the noise in the background. Someone's just gone on stage. It's a bit loud, so we apologise for that. But carry on.
But you can talk over that level if you want to, and just check it out. The tone of a 200 watt head or a 100 watt head, it's just killer.
Yeah. Especially with the DPR. I mean, I'm personally, I have the Series 1 and I just crank it, but using the DPR where you can take it from, say, 100 watt down to 10 watt and it still sounds good. Because you always want to play when it sounds good. And to be able to get that at, say, a bedroom level, it's pretty awesome.
The idea of DPR is that you have all the same compression, all the same speaker sag. It feels the same under your pick as it does when it's pumping at full tilt. And that's the idea, because often when you have like a valve change, like a pentode or triode thing, like you lose a lot of the voicing, you lose a lot of the feel, and that's what that's about.
I mean, let's face it, I mean, having a 100 watt head or a 200 watt head just looks badass. Even if you're in a little apartment or a bedroom, to be able to put it to that kind of level, it's pretty awesome, and it looks good as well.
Yeah, man. Get yourself one of these.
Absolutely, you should get one right now.
Think about what Jack Black would say. Be like, let the rock breathe, man. Let it breathe.
Hell yeah. So we spoke about this yesterday, as well as Blackstar, making great amps. You've got some other things that you're invested in.
So 10 years into the history of the brand, we've decided to sort of start a distribution angle in the UK, and we now own a company called Gordon Smith Guitars. They're hand-built in Higham Ferris in Northampton, not too far from our HQ. And they are absolutely wonderful guitars, all hand-built. They take about 12 weeks to build. You can have a custom guitar built for you, any style, any finish. And for example, there was one guy who had like a really old Morris Minor car, and he had a guitar built exactly the same color as his car.
Wow.
And for under a K, you're sort of talking and starting around about 500 or 600 quid.
Wow.
To get a hand-built guitar that's had a lot of love gone into it, and it's built by a selection of guys in the UK, I think is pretty sweet, man.
I mean, this one you have here is one of my personal favourites. That looks really nice.
Silver flame burst. I mean, it's all coil tapped as well, so we have single if we want. All the hardware is American Goto hardware.
What pickups are in it?
All the pickups are designed by Gordon Smith and hand wound at their little factory. So it's just organic as hell.
We'll get some footage of Steve shredding on this bad boy, so you can really hear it. I mean, how do they play? I mean, you've been playing it. How's it feel?
Man. We were just talking about how nice it sounded on the clean channel, and of course on the high gain stuff it sounds killer as well. But they just feel great. It's just it's new for me, but I feel comfortable pretty much half an hour into jamming on it.
And you've got a stand over here of some others, which we'll get some shots of, and some playing of that as well, which is very awesome.
As well as Gordon Smith, we're now distributing G&L in the UK, which is George Fullerton and Leo's company. They started after the originals, and they're amazing guitars, man. We're doing Auden, which are high-end handmade acoustics, and also Alvarez acoustics as well, and it's exciting times, man. We've quickly became a very strong distribution division, as well as, of course, our heart and soul in Blackstar. So.
all go for Blackstar. It is all go. So quickly, we would quickly want to ask you about your band. You've got a band. Yeah.
Yeah. I recently went out on the road on a little tour. The band is called Gasoline and Matches. It definitely wouldn't suit Bloodstock for sure. It's kind of a rootsy sort of Americana blues country thing, but it sounded really good. We've had a nomination for Best Newcomer at the BCMAs in the UK yesterday, which is amazing. We've only been gigging a year, so we've sort of got out there and shown up to festivals and gate crash festivals in that sort of genre, and we're just recording our first EP, and that sounded really cool. So that's exciting. Yeah, check out Gasoline and Matches.
Definitely check it out. Are you online?
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. Yeah,
we'll put the links down below and you go check them out.
So it was great. I took an Artist 30 out, which is a clean platform. I ran some pedals through it and it sounded killer. I had a Gordon Smith GS1, which is a single pickup. This is a GS2, so 2 humbuckers. But I took a GS1 out that was core taps and it gave me everything I needed, and sounded killer, man. Yeah, we played Scotland, Midlands, and London, and
we'll have to come and see you one day. I think that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. What you saying about putting pedals through? One thing I will say about Blackstar is, one question I always get when I put out videos of me playing is, oh, what pedals are you putting in front of that to get that tone? No pedals. I don't use any pedals. It's just my guitar into the amp, and for me to be able to do, because I'm not a tap dancer, so to be able to get my tone just from plugging the lead in, I think is awesome. In and out.
Yeah, it's everybody's different, of course, and these days there's a lot of people that are going direct for ease. But I'm sure you'll agree, there's nothing like feeling air behind you on stage from speaker cones. There's nothing like it, and when you turn up to a festival like this, you've got to be aware. It's okay having loads of pedals. I mean, I've got loads of pedals on my board. When I gig, it's like river dance. My feet are doing that all night, but you've got to be comfortable enough as a player that you can turn up to a festival like Bloodstock and have a clean crunch overdrive lead, and that's it. And that's what these give you, and that's what the guys are using out there right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so awesome. So guys, I highly recommend Blackstar. Steve highly recommends Blackstar. They are great amps. Go check them out. Like I said, everything about Blackstar will be in the description of this video. Thank you for taking the time and chatting with us. Yes, thank you.
How cool is this dude?
I try. I do love Blackstar. So guys, as always, rock out, be awesome, and we will see you very soon. We've been at Bloodstock 2017 with Blackstar, and we'll see you soon. See ya!
Cheers, man.